How you doing? My name is Christopher Brown, and you're now listening to my podcast, Sports Talk with Chris, and this is episode 11. Now, for the NFL, there are a lot of what-if scenarios when it comes to injuries, a team winning, a team losing, a team trading away somebody, a player signing somewhere else. What if is one of the biggest questions when it comes to the sport. Now, to start off, my first thing is, what if Carson Wentz never got hurt the year we won a Super Bowl? Well, I'm going to tell you what happened. He would be, without a doubt, a top 5 quarterback in the league. Now, to me, he's pushing that barrier, but if he never got hurt, he wins that MVP that year, which he was on pace to do. He wins the Super Bowl MVP, which he would have went, because people say, y'all would have never made it if Carson Wentz wasn't. What? I say stop talking right there. What you mean we would have never made it? We were already the best team in the league. The quarterback was the best quarterback in the league. How would we not have made it? He would have kept rolling. The team would have kept rolling. If anything, we would have dominated even more. It just makes no sense to people say we never made it. He would have been playing 10 times better than Nick Foles. I'm not saying Nick Foles played bad, but Carson Wentz was on a roll that year. Every team that wins the championship, every team that goes to the championship, they're making their strides. It's their year. That year was the Eagles' year. Not only did we have one of the best offenses that year, but we had one of the best defenses. What if Carson Wentz didn't get hurt? Nobody would deny the fact that he's a top 5 quarterback. He'd have the MVP trophy, Super Bowl MVP trophy. Nobody would deny the fact that he's the best quarterback in the division. People won't try to say, oh, well, Dak Prescott's better than Carson because he's more healthy. He doesn't win anything. He don't win nothing. Yeah, he doesn't have a Super Bowl like Carson Wentz have a Super Bowl. You know? He doesn't. If Carson Wentz never got hurt, a lot of people will put more respect on his name. And then, again, what if he didn't get hurt the next year? Say he's healthy. He's healthy going into next year. We win a Super Bowl. Now the next year we go back. Do we have a chance of repeating? I mean, in the playoffs, we were Alshon Jeffrey passed away from going back to the Super Bowl because we beat the Saints. We going against the Rams. We always beat the Rams. We never had problems with the Rams. I don't care if they got all them new additions. We still never had problems with the Rams. Then we beat the Rams, and then we go against the Patriots again. And then say we beat the Patriots again. So the Eagles won the championship 2 years in a row. Carson Wentz has another Super Bowl MVP trophy. That's without a doubt he's top 5 quarterback in the league now. Nobody's doubting that anymore. He's for sure top 5. You could argue that he's the best quarterback in the league. If he wins 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, beats the best quarterback of all time in Tom Brady 2 years in a row, leads his team to the championship, and he's still that young? Is he not the best quarterback in the league? I'm just asking. Carson Wentz never got hurt the first time. His career would be totally different. The Eagles could have 2 Super Bowls now, and we'd be one of the best teams in the NFL. Now, another what-if scenario. My boy Aaron Rodgers. Now, what if the Green Bay Packers in 2011 actually beat the Giants? You know, they went 15-1 that year. They won. It's crazy. They won the Super Bowl the year prior, came back, go 15-1. Then you lose to the Giants the first time you're in the playoffs. Divisional round. You lose to the Giants. Say they beat the Giants. Say they return back to the Super Bowl. You got Aaron Rodgers versus Tom Brady. So it's like, Aaron Rodgers is emerging as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Going against, at that point, you could argue Tom Brady's the best quarterback in the league at the time. He goes on and he beats Tom Brady. Okay, Aaron Rodgers has 2 Super Bowls back-to-back, beating Big Ben and then beating Tom Brady. He's moving up on that list. If he wins that, I think it's unanimous. He's the best quarterback in the league at that point in 2011. Now he's moving up on an all-time list. And then in 2014, where he lost to the Seahawks in the playoffs, where the Packers totally blew a lead, botched the onside kick recovery. Say they win that, and then they go to the Super Bowl. And then they go against Tom Brady again. And say he beats Tom Brady again. Now Aaron Rodgers has 3 Super Bowls. 2 of them against Tom Brady, which people are arguing he's the best quarterback of all time. So it's like, he goes on and beats Tom Brady, who people considers the best quarterback. So now is Aaron Rodgers the best quarterback of all time? If he wins those 2 Super Bowls? Is he now the best quarterback of all time? You can make that argument because his talent shows that he is one of the best. But you know how people are. You could be talented as I don't know what, but if you don't win, it doesn't mean a lot. It doesn't really mean anything. So now he has 3 Super Bowls. 3 Super Bowls with that talent. Aaron Rodgers could be going down as the best quarterback of all time. Now another what if scenario is, what if the Arizona Cardinals beat the Steelers in the Super Bowl? The year they had Kurt Warner. The year Fitzgerald went on that crazy playoff run. Could you consider Kurt Warner one of the best quarterbacks of all time? Winning with the greatest show on turf, Rams? Now at the end of his career, he led the Cardinals to the Super Bowl? I mean, that's just something to think about. Kurt Warner was towards the end of his career. At the end of his career. He wins that Super Bowl. He now has 2 Super Bowls. 2 crazy runs, years apart. Is he one of the best quarterbacks of all time? And then you look at Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald has all the stats. All the stats. No Super Bowl ring. That's why it's truly hard to judge, 2, 3, 4. You got T.O., you got Randy, you got Larry Fitzgerald. If he gets that ring, in my opinion, he moves up to number 2 in front of T.O. I mean, you got T.O., you got Randy. I'm giving it to Randy. So he moves up above Randy as the second best wide receiver of all time. And as he would. If he wins the Super Bowl ring, if Larry Fitzgerald stats right now plus Super Bowl ring, he's the second best wide receiver of all time. That's how much Super Bowl rings help your career. Because all their stats are similar. They all have great stats. They all had great careers. They just never won. So you're giving me 3 players that all have great careers. Nothing really truly stands them apart. You could put them in whatever order you want. But now you got 3 great players, but one of them has a Super Bowl ring. You got to give it to the guy with the Super Bowl ring, man. Now another what if scenario I want to talk about. What if RG3 never gets hurt? Y'all see how Lamar Jackson is killing the league. Now RG3 is not that fast and not that elusive. But he had a similar playing style. Similar. RG3, Rookie of the Year was deserved. RG3 coming out the gates was really good. Really good. He could make plays with his feet. He had an arm. He was still young when he got hurt. It wasn't like it was at the end of his career. The middle, he was still young. Still young. What if RG3 never gets hurt? He could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. If he continue to stay on his growth. It doesn't even matter what team he be on. Don't matter if it's the Redskins because they trash. Even if he leaves, I feel like he would still be one of the best quarterbacks in the league. His growth would still improve by every year. His experience is going up. By that time, he's developing a better passing arm, better accuracy. RG3 could be one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. Instead, he's a backup, which is sad because he dealt with injury after injury after injury. Bad luck of injuries. But RG3, I think, was talented enough to be a starting quarterback. I don't think he would have fizzled out, like a lot of quarterbacks do. I don't think that was for RG3. RG3 would have been nice right now, man. I'm going to be honest. Now, another what-if scenario. What if, this is a good one. This is a real good one. What if the Saints could actually win in the playoffs? Now, Drew Brees is taking a lot of stats right now as far as all-time quarterback stats. But he only has 1 ring. So nobody really ranks him as the best QB. The past couple years, he's been real fluky. His team losing crazy in the playoffs to the Vikings twice, to the Rams. So he never really got a chance to go back to the Super Bowl. What if Drew Brees has 3 Super Bowls with the stats he has now? Again, with the point with Aaron Rodgers, they have the talent, even though I think Aaron Rodgers' quarterback talent is better than Drew Brees. Drew Brees is accurate as I don't know what. The stats are there, so he has the talent and the stats. Now, what if he has at least 3 Super Bowl rings? Are people now consider him the GOAT? Because you got to remember, if they're winning them Super Bowl rings, then Tom Brady doesn't have what he has because they're going to beat Tom Brady in some of those Super Bowls. So is Tom Brady not the best quarterback of all time? Because he has a real big what if scenario. What if Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt? Let's be honest, if Drew Bledsoe never gets hurt, we're never going to see Tom Brady. We're never going to see Tom Brady because there was no reason for Tom Brady to play other than the fact that Drew got hurt. Nobody was going to ever pick Tom over Drew. So he would have been, I don't know if he'd have been great. He always had people say that demeanor, the will to be the best, that yada, yada, yada. He would have been a career backup until he got the opportunity to play. Or he would have just been an average quarterback. Because I don't know if he'd have been put in the same position that the Patriots put him in. You got to understand that Patriots system, that organization, that's just different. They're built different over there. They're really built to win. Bill Belichick's scheme, his persona, what he gives off to the team. A lot of coaches don't do that. Win now situations. A lot of teams don't really practice that, put themselves in position for that. The Patriots do. So Tom Brady, Drew Bledsoe don't get hurt. Tom Brady's not, we don't know Tom Brady. How we know him now, at least. Because he's not going to pan out with the Patriots. So either he's going to be a backup there, or he's going to go somewhere else. And I don't think his career is ever going to be the same. Now, yet another what if. What if Mike Vick, that incident doesn't happen with the dogs in jail? Oh my goodness. I mean, Mike Vick was on path to be, first of all, he already is a special talent, but he'd be considered even better if he didn't miss so many years of his career. Missing them years and he's in jail, did not get an opportunity for a while. It doesn't even matter if he stays in Atlanta or goes somewhere else. Just those extra years, one, the rushing stats would have been out this world. He'd be leaps and bounds probably ahead of any other quarterback right now. His passing would have got better eventually. Because even though, I don't even want to say it's that situation that made him become a better passer with the Eagles, it was just the fact that his game had to evolve. He's not going to be running around forever. He always had a rocket launcher. It was just the accuracy and could he pass in certain situations was always the question. But that would have got fixed in time. If Mike Vick, that situation never got hurt, Mike Vick could be, an all-timer. He's already an all-timer when it comes to running QBs. But I feel like he'd have more respect on his name as a total quarterback. Because he's better than a lot of quarterbacks that are just a pocket passer. He's a better passer than some of these guys. And he's the best rushing quarterback of all time until Lamar Jackson comes up. I'm not going to give him that title right now. But speaking of Lamar Jackson, what if Lamar Jackson was drafted by a different team? Now, I knew how good Lamar Jackson was coming out of college. Don't get it messed up. Teams were having question marks. Why, I don't know. All I saw was a good ball player. Did race play a factor? Did the fact that he's not a stand in the pocket, pass it, that played a huge factor? What's wrong with a quarterback being mobile? He still threw the ball. You watched him pass the ball in college. It's not like he ran every single play. Yeah, he had some question marks when it comes to passing, but a lot of quarterbacks had question marks when it comes to passing. RG3 got drafted that high. You mean to tell me he had the same type of arm talent as Andrew Luck? Because I know he didn't. I personally thought in that draft, the team I wanted him to get drafted by was Jacksonville. Because at that time, Jacksonville had the best defense in the league. They shocked everybody by going to the AFC Championship against the Patriots. They lost. I feel like you put a better quarterback in that situation. Him and Leonard Fournette going to have what him and Mark Ingram have right now. The best rushing attack in the league. Already paired with the best defense. All you gotta do is give him some wide receivers. The difference right now between the difference right now between that Jaguars team and the Ravens team now is, I think, the tight ends is the biggest difference. The tight ends. He actually had somebody to pass the ball to with the Ravens. The thing with the Jaguars is he didn't have a lot of people to pass it to because their wide receiver core was trash. To be honest, it was trash, and their tight ends was nothing compared to the Ravens. But would he be able to win? I think so. Now, another key reason why the Ravens are so successful, not just because Lamar Jackson, is the coach, the head coach. Ravens head coach is 25 times better than, the Jaguars head coach. But I feel like the situation he would have been in Jacksonville. One, he's in the state of Florida, but two, that team was in win now mode. What if he got drafted to Jacksonville? Would he be, MVP? I don't know. I know he'd still be showing us what he's showing right now. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Wherever he went, he was going to prove how good he was. I knew he was good enough to start. I'm thinking like all Jacksonville needs, because Blake Bortles is trash, so I'm thinking all Jacksonville needs is a quarterback. All them quarterbacks that went early, I knew they weren't going to fall back. I'm like, oh, nobody likes Lamar. I don't know why. Jacksonville, please go get him. That was one of the best scenarios I thought for him. Because I didn't know what the Ravens were going to do with their boy Joe Flacco. So I'm like, I hope they don't draft when they Ravens drafted him. I'm like, I hope they don't draft him to be a backup because he's ready. He's ready to go. His playing style is so unique. Not only can he run, but he can pass. Lamar is good, man. He's on his way to being great. Now, again, what if? What if the Bears, instead of drafting Mitchell Trubisky, they could have drafted Deshaun Watson? They could have drafted Pat Mahomes. Now, again, like the Jaguars team, the Bears team ended up having a really good defense. But their offense was a question mark. But I still think Deshaun Watson could excel over there. I still could have thought Pat Mahomes could excel over there. And people saying I didn't know Pat Mahomes wasn't that good. Whoa, do y'all not watch college football? All them crazy passing yards he's putting up with Texas Tech. And then what you don't know about Deshaun Watson's going to the championship in college the past couple years. Yeah, y'all draft Mitchell Trubisky, which nobody thought he was going to be good to begin with. I don't know why they drafted him. Nobody thought he was worth that pick. You pass up on them two studs. Now look what they're doing. Now look how salty you are. Now that you got to sign Nick Foles, which he's nothing. No, I love Nick Foles forever because he brought my team a championship. But he's nothing compared to Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes, the two quarterbacks the Chicago Bears passed over for Mitchell Trubisky, which is not good. He's not good. I'm not trying to belittle him or anything. I'm just going to be honest. He's not a good quarterback, and he's especially not a good quarterback compared to them two. I don't know why they passed over them. With that good of a defense, I don't think those two quarterbacks that they passed over is going to fumble the bag like how he fumbled the bag. I don't think so. Yeah, their offensive weapons is a question mark, and compared to the two teams that the two quarterbacks play on now, which is the Texans, when they had DeAndre Hopkins, which is a way better receiver than the Bears had. Then you talk about the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, all the speedster he has, going to Chicago Bears, that they don't have that. But I think they would have found a way to make it work, because that's what good quarterbacks do. My last what-if scenario I'm going to talk about. The last one I'm going to talk about. What if people in the NFL stop judging people off rings? That's how a lot of people get judged. Actually, before I go into this, I'm going to talk about this. Another what if I want to talk about. I don't know why this just hit my mind. What if Sterling Sharp never got hurt? Now, if y'all don't know who Sterling Sharp is, he's Shannon Sharp's older brother. And please go look him up on YouTube. Go look up all his stats. Sterling Sharp was on pace to be one of the best receivers in the game. All the receiving yards Jerry Rice was getting, Sterling Sharp was right there. Touchdowns, Sterling Sharp was right there. Receptions, Sterling Sharp was right there. Right up there with Jerry. But then he got hurt. Didn't even play 8 years in the league. Neck injury. Ended it all. Just when Brett Favre was turning into Brett Favre. So imagine them two in the long run. Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp. Giving Brett Favre a dominant number one receiver. Not only does Sterling Sharp would have a ring, as the Packers won years later, but maybe they would have had two, because the Packers lost to the Broncos. Having Sterling Sharp on that team, maybe they would have had two. Maybe would have had more than that. Because the teams were still good. They didn't have no Sterling Sharp, though. Sterling Sharp, honestly, would be the second best receiver of all time if he never would have got hurt. It would have been between him and Jerry Rice. That's how good Sterling Sharp was. And I'm saying this with a straight face because I mean every word I'm saying. Please, if you don't believe me, go look up all the stats. Go look up matter of fact, don't look up the stats. I'm about to give you the stats right now. I was preaching to y'all about his stats, so here go his stats. He had 8,134 total receiving yards in his career. He had 65 touchdowns. He had 595 receptions. And he did all that in 7 years. Now, he was on pace. Basically just double his stats, because that's what he was on pace for. If not more. Because Brett Favre, like I said, was coming to his own. Their offense would have been more dynamic. Sterling Sharp got hurt 7 years into his pro career. In the 7 years he played, he never missed a game. Until he had a neck injury that last season that ruined his career. I'm trying to tell y'all, man, Sterling Sharp would have been one of the best. Now, the last what if I'm going to do is what if people don't judge NFL players by their rings? I did it, but I don't like to do it. I try not to do it. So what if people don't? A lot of people that are ranked low would be higher. Rings play so much into a factor that a lot of people don't account for it. Well, he played on really such a bad team, such a bad organization, such a bad playing environment. You know, it's 11 people out on the field on offense, 11 people out on the field on defense, 11 people out on special teams. But you're one player, and you only play on one side of the ball. You cannot control what happens on the other side of the ball when your teammates are playing. You cannot control that. If you do your job to the best of your ability, if you do your job and the stats are shown that you are one of the best, then you should be treated like one of the best. Because if situations were reversed, you know, if you played on a team that was a winning team, you would be considered that person. If y'all want an example, Tom Brady, switch him and switch Drew Brees. Is Tom Brady considered one of the best? No. Is Drew Brees the best? Yes. Why? Because Drew Brees has the rings. And then Tom won it. Rings play such a big factor. You and somebody can have the same stats. And I said this before when I was doing the wide receivers. And this is just how it is. You and somebody can have the same stats. If they have a ring, more than likely they'll be chosen above you. Okay? And now with that, I agree on that. If y'all got the same stats and somebody has a ring, but that person should go. But if it is that person's stats is a little bit below yours, but they have a ring and they get chosen above you, now that's the part I don't like. If your stats are better than somebody that's at your position, but they just have a ring, that's why people put them above you, that I don't like that. Now, what if people stop doing that in the NFL? Like I said, a lot of players will be ranked higher because there are some players that are ranked lower than people whose stats are worse than theirs. That's just the truth. That is just the truth. There's a lot of what ifs for the NFL. A lot. Now, if you want to talk about some more, You can always find me on Instagram and Twitter at sportsw_Chris. sportsw_Chris. I apologize. If you want to talk about this list, or you want to give to me some more what if scenarios, or you want to bounce back on some what if scenarios, I'm fully free to talk. Thank you for listening, and stay tuned for future episodes.